Do you believe you're truly free? What if I told you that it's not fear, but pleasure that keeps you trapped? Sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But the reality is even more unsettling. While you think you're making choices, your behavior is being meticulously controlled by invisible forces that use your own desires against you. In this video, I'll uncover how we're becoming modern slaves, voluntary and even happy about it, and how you can break free from this prison disguised as freedom before it's too late. Stick with me, because what I'm about to share could completely change how you see the world around you. The concept of slavery, disguised as freedom, is one of Aldous Huxley's most thought-provoking critiques of modern societies. For Huxley, true freedom isn't just the absence of physical shackles or the ability to make unrestricted choices. It's the capacity to reflect and act consciously, seeking meaning and autonomy in our lives. However, modernity, according to Huxley, has built a system where apparent freedom conceals subtle forms of control, trapping people within their own desires and distractions. In contemporary societies, freedom is often tied to the idea of consumption, leisure, and individual choice. We're encouraged to believe that the more options we have, the freer we are. Yet this abundance of choices can become a trap. Products, services, and experiences are designed to cater to immediate impulses, diverting our attention from deeper questions, such as the meaning of our actions, the pursuit of purpose, or genuine connection with others. This overload of stimuli creates a paradox. Instead of exercising our autonomy, we become passive, manipulated by a system that sells us freedom while ensnaring us in cycles of consumption and dependency. Huxley clearly saw how this dynamic fosters a complacent population, distracted by easy pleasures, endless entertainment, technological conveniences that simplify tasks, or even medications that numb life's discomforts. People stop questioning the structures shaping their lives. There's no need for repression when control is disguised as choice. We accept it without resistance because the trade seems fair. We give up reflection, depth, and responsibility in exchange for comfort, amusement, and relief. This false freedom also appears in how we relate to work, consumption, and personal aspirations. We work to consume to be recognized, and seek recognition in ways we didn't consciously choose but were imposed upon us. This invisible slavery is dangerous because we don't feel coerced. We believe we're acting out of free will, all while following paths meticulously designed by forces beyond our control, marketing, algorithms, and social expectations. Control through pleasure, as warned by Aldous Huxley, is one of the most effective and insidious forms of social manipulation. Unlike fear-based control or explicit coercion, it operates by offering constant gratifications that condition people to accept, or even desire, the very structures that limit their autonomy. This form of dominance is dangerous precisely because it doesn't feel oppressive. On the contrary, it's often embraced as a privilege. At the core of this control lies our natural pursuit of comfort and satisfaction. Pleasure, in its many forms, has the power to captivate our attention and shield us from discomfort, whether physical, emotional, or existential. When deliberately exploited, pleasure becomes a tool to divert the masses from deeper issues like inequality, injustice, or the erosion of freedoms. Entertained and satisfied, people lack the time or energy to question the power structures shaping their lives. Huxley foresaw that modern societies would use pleasure as an anesthetic. In Brave New World, this strategy is epitomized by soma, a fictional drug that erases anguish and unease, creating artificial happiness. In today's reality, the equivalent of soma can be found in various forms: the endless entertainment of social media and streaming platforms, the abundance of ultra-processed foods catering to instant cravings, technological advancements that minimize human effort. and even medications that suppress discomfort without addressing its root causes. Pleasure is also a potent tool for behavior shaping. Emotional and social rewards, like likes on social media, luxury purchases, or carefully curated experiences, create a cycle of dependency. People become accustomed to chasing these small doses of happiness and, without realizing it, end up subservient to systems that expertly manipulate their impulses. Huxley viewed this as a mechanism of mass distraction. In our relentless pursuit of pleasurable stimuli, we lose sight of the essential aspects of our humanity, such as critical thinking, empathy, and self-transcendence. Control through pleasure is particularly effective because it turns desire into an instrument of subjugation. No one feels coerced or forced. Instead, there's an illusion that we're living exactly as we wish. This voluntary compliance is what makes this form of control so powerful. After all, who would question a system that constantly offers comfort and amusement? However, Huxley warns us that this dependence on superficial pleasures comes at a steep price. It weakens our ability to resist, making us vulnerable to any system capable of feeding our immediate desires. More than that, it robs us of the depth of life, as instant gratification replaces more meaningful experiences, such as the pursuit of purpose or genuine connection with others. Behavioral conditioning, as observed by Aldous Huxley and inspired by B.F. Skinner's experiments, is a powerful tool for shaping society in ways that are nearly invisible. It is a method by which behaviors are controlled and directed through rewards and punishments, prompting individuals to act in specific ways without overt coercion. Subtle yet profoundly effective, this process works by tapping into our most automatic and instinctive responses, rendering us obedient without even realizing we're being controlled. B.F. Skinner, a leading proponent of operant conditioning, demonstrated that human and animal behavior could be modified by associating actions with consequences. Rewards encourage desired behaviors, while punishments discourage them. Huxley foresaw how this theory could be applied on a societal scale to align individuals with the interests of power systems. In the world of Brave New World, we see a society where conditioning begins in childhood through techniques like hypnopedia, sleep teaching, and carefully crafted psychological associations. These ensure that every individual accepts their social role and function without question. In today's reality, behavioral conditioning often happens in ways that elude our awareness. Social media algorithms, for instance, are designed to reward our actions with small doses of emotional validation, like likes, shares, and notifications. This dynamic trains us to seek more of these rewards, often at the expense of our autonomy and well-being. Similarly, educational systems, advertising strategies, and even governmental policies use conditioning principles to shape our preferences, consumption habits, and attitudes toward the world. The great danger of this type of control is that it eliminates the need for direct repression. When people are conditioned to seek specific pleasures or avoid carefully defined discomforts, they become prisoners of their own induced desires or fears. They believe they are acting out of free will, when in reality they are following a pre-written script. In Brave New World, this is evident in how citizens reject the very ideas of individual freedom or introspection, having been conditioned to associate these concepts with feelings of discomfort or inadequacy. Behavioral conditioning also creates an illusion of normalcy. By consistently reinforcing certain behaviors and penalizing others, it establishes patterns that are accepted as natural or inevitable. This process discourages critical thinking and diminishes individuals' ability to imagine alternatives to the status quo. Thus, conditioning not only controls what we do, but also limits what we are capable of desiring or believing. Huxley recognized behavioral conditioning as a form of psychological slavery, where submission is not imposed, but learned. In the modern world, it manifests in countless subtle ways. In the unspoken rules of how we should behave, in the consumption patterns we follow almost mindlessly, and in the cultural narratives that teach us what is acceptable or valuable. Its effectiveness lies precisely in the fact that we rarely notice we're being conditioned. Resisting this type of control requires conscious effort, a constant questioning of what is presented to us as natural, and an active pursuit of alternatives that honor our true freedom. The reality depicted in Aldous Huxley's Brave New World is a chillingly plausible vision of a future where humanity is controlled not through force or fear, but through carefully managed pleasures and distractions. The society in the novel is structured around absolute social stability, achieved by suppressing both internal and external conflicts. Yet this stability comes at a steep price: the complete loss of freedom, authenticity, and what makes us human. In Huxley's world, people aren't oppressed through physical repression or constant surveillance, as in George Orwell's 1984. Instead, control is almost imperceptible, beginning at birth. Conditioning starts in childhood with techniques like hypnopedia, sleep teaching, and unconscious associations that shape desires, fears, and behaviors. This psychological programming ensures that every individual accepts their place in society without question or ambition for anything else. For example, those in the lower castes are conditioned to find comfort and happiness in repetitive, servile work, while disdaining any notion of ambition or change. One of the most effective tools of control is the fictional drug soma. It serves as a powerful metaphor for modern mechanisms of escape. Soma eliminates suffering and provides artificial happiness with no apparent side effects. With it, people never have to confront emotional pain, question the meaning of their lives, or deal with internal conflicts. In practice, this drug doesn't just relieve discomfort, it eliminates the possibility of growth or reflection that often comes through grappling with hardship. Entertainment also plays a critical role in controlling the masses. Sensory films, endless recreational activities, and constant stimuli keep citizens distracted from larger existential questions or the lack of their own freedom. This overdose of distractions leaves no room for introspection. Consequently, society remains apathetic and content with superficiality, never questioning the structures that keep it subjugated. Another cornerstone of social control in the novel is sexuality. In Huxley's vision, sex is not merely liberalized, but actively encouraged as a means of keeping people satisfied and uninterested in forming deeper, more challenging connections. Intense emotional relationships are discouraged, while immediate physical pleasure is promoted as the ideal. This fosters an environment where individuality is diluted, and intimacy, which could serve as a space for resistance or questioning, is replaced by trivial interactions. Happiness in this society is, in truth, a state of total conformity. There is no suffering, but neither is there meaning. There is no conflict, but also no progress. Everything is meticulously designed to avoid instability, even at the cost of sacrificing the essence of the human experience. The pursuit of a comfortable, predictable existence becomes a disguised prison, where the cost is the loss of freedom to think, feel, and choose. What makes Brave New World so unsettling is that, unlike other dystopias, the people do not resist the system. They do not feel oppressed because they have been conditioned to love their servitude. This voluntary acceptance is the ultimate triumph of social control in Huxley's vision. The novel compels us to reflect on the forms of control we already encounter in modern reality, from reliance on medications to alleviate suffering, to the relentless use of social media and entertainment to avoid boredom or loneliness. Through its unsettling insights, Huxley's masterpiece warns us of the danger of trading freedom and meaning for comfort and distraction, and challenges us to question the systems that shape our lives today. The future of modern slavery, as envisioned by Aldous Huxley, is an unsettling reality that seems to be approaching with alarming speed. Huxley foresaw a world where people would no longer be controlled through force or fear, but through the allure of comfort, pleasures, and convenience. This modern slavery doesn't require physical chains. It operates far more subtly, making individuals dependent on systems that promise happiness and security, while, in practice, imprisoning their minds and restricting their autonomy. At the heart of this new form of slavery is the trade-off of freedom for comfort. In the name of convenience, people willingly submit to invasive technologies, relinquish their privacy, and delegate fundamental choices to algorithms and automated systems. Smart devices, social media, and digital platforms designed to simplify our lives take on central roles, controlling behaviors, shaping preferences, and often making decisions for us. The more we surrender to this convenience, the more we lose our capacity for critical thinking and our ability to truly govern our own lives. Another aspect of this future is the division of humanity into two major groups: those who embrace modern slavery and those who resist it. The majority, seduced by the immediate rewards and the promise of a conflict-free existence, gladly accept submission. These are the individuals who prioritize the ease of a facilitated life, even at the cost of their individuality. On the other hand, a smaller, often marginalized group resists, striving to preserve their freedom and humanity despite the difficulties and exclusion they face. This division creates a widening chasm between those who value comfort above all else and those who still cherish autonomy. Huxley also warned of the erosion of resistance. A society conditioned by pleasure and distraction loses its will to rebel. The desire for change is stifled by the constant promise of instant relief, whether through entertainment, technology, or medications that numb emotional pain. Conformity becomes the norm, and any form of questioning or challenging the system is seen as unnecessary or even dangerous. Modern slavery doesn't need to be imposed because people choose it willingly. Moreover, the future Huxley predicted isn't just about dependency on technology or manipulation through pleasure, but also about the centralization of power. Large corporations and governments have unprecedented access to individuals' personal information. These entities don't need to exert direct control. Data analysis and targeted stimuli ensure the masses act in alignment with their interests. This silent surveillance creates a system where we are monitored, influenced, and ultimately controlled, all without realizing we are being manipulated. The great tragedy of modern slavery is that it feeds on human desires. Instead of imposing itself as an external force, it functions as a response to our needs for comfort, entertainment, and relief. Yet in our relentless pursuit of these satisfactions, we become dependent on a system that prioritizes its own perpetuation over our freedom. Huxley saw this future as a threat not only to individual liberty, but also to the essence of what it means to be human, our ability to think, reflect, and strive for something beyond the immediate. The pursuit of pleasure, when used as a form of control, can be just as destructive as any form of direct oppression. Aldous Huxley, through his works and reflections, warned us about the dangers of a society that prioritizes immediate gratification at the expense of freedom and humanity. His insights challenge us to look beyond superficial distractions and question how we can preserve our autonomy in a world that often confuses comfort with true freedom. If this discussion has opened your eyes to the world around you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any content that could transform your way of thinking. Leave a like to help more people see what's really happening, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think we're truly living in this modern form of slavery? I'd love to hear your opinion. And before you go, check out the videos on the screen right now. They'll take you even deeper into everything we've talked about. See you there.